Seniority wants to kill Nigerians. Nigerians love seniority. Well, except if you are the junior one, then you definitely hate it like I do, because I am the third child amongst 4 siblings. So I have been at the receiving end of seniority. So I definitely don't like it. I have never been, receptive towards it. You can say that I'm one of those naughty children, but I just never used to deal with that seniority thing. But in Nigeria, it's a big deal. We take seniority very seriously, especially if you are from the Yoruba side of Nigeria. Then we carry it to our chest. It's like birthright. Like, you cannot disrespect your elder one. We take that seniority as if it is, like once you are the senior, you become like, Queen of England. Everybody has to respect you and obey you. You are the queen. That is how it is. Or you are the king. You are the senior one. You are the next person after your parents. And so everybody just has to respect you. So the kind of respect that they will give to your parents is somewhat what they will also give to you. So they're going to respect you, they're going to obey you, they're going to listen to you, and you're sort of like the second parent when your parents are not around. And this seniority thing is not just for siblings, it's also for anyone that is older than you. So your neighbor that is older than you, your senior in school, that is somebody in a senior class that is older than you is also your senior. You have to obey, you have to respect. And so it just translates into everything. Even at work, the seniority thing even plays. Although in recent times it has actually dwindled a bit, but it's still very much present. So the seniority thing is a big deal in Nigeria, especially with the Yoruba tribe. So how does this seniority thing work? As the senior sister or brother in a typical Nigerian home, you can actually assign chores to your younger brother or sister. You can tell them to sweep the floors, to take out the trash, to do the laundry, to wash the dishes, to do whatever chore that you want, to arrange the clothes, to arrange the room, to do whatever. And your junior one has to obey you. If they choose not to obey you, then they would actually get punished. They can actually get punished by you or even your parents. So it's a very big deal. And your elder one can also send you on errands. So they can tell you to help them get water from the fridge, to help them get snacks from the kitchen, to help them get their bags from upstairs, to help them get XYZ, to help them buy something outside. They can actually send you on errands, and you are supposed to obey. You are supposed to listen to them and do what they ask you to do. You cannot actually say no. You shouldn't actually say no, because it will be considered disrespectful. And it also went into schools. So in schools, it was a big deal. This actually was the kind of bullying that used to exist in school, where the senior students would actually, boss and bully the junior students and make them do all sorts of things for them, to make them go on all sorts of errands for them. The boarding house is actually terrible, because they'll ask you to wash clothes for them. They'll ask you to fetch water for them. They can ask you to give them your food. It goes that bad sometimes. They can ask you to call this person to sweep this area, to do their chores that that was actually assigned to them, all sorts of things. They can ask you to do crazy stuff. Now, this is particularly for the boarding house. If you're a day student, you might not receive this thing so deeply, because you're going to go home and you can escape. So even if you give an attitude, you might be able to escape it. Well, you might not necessarily escape it, but it will not be that big of a deal. But if you're in the boarding house and you dare say no to a senior, or you disrespect a senior, you don't listen to what they say you should do, you just say you're not doing it, they will beat Babala nonsense out of you. You will not believe yourself. Like, they will beat you. So you have to obey your senior, or you have to, have maybe a school mother or school father, someone that can protect you that is also a senior. So they will just ask the senior ones not to send you on errands and just leave you out of the people that will be disturbed. So if you have a good, like a godmother in school, then you can be protected. Otherwise, they send you message, you let pin you. So you're better off not even going close to the senior block, because you might not live there, because after one errand goes another. You keep on going. So that's a rough look at what seniority is like in general terms. Now, there are some things that, seniority also enters into that I think It's just the extra, and this happens at home and school. I mentioned some of them already in school. Coming back to the house, seniority thing also goes into some other areas. There are some things that are reserved for the elder ones. Like there are some benefits of being the senior sibling that you can actually enjoy that junior ones don't enjoy, and that thing actually drives me crazy. It's actually the reason why I don't like the seniority thing, because it's just a lot of stress. So we all know that in a typical Nigerian house, the remote control is owned by the senior sibling after the parents. So in many Nigerian homes, there are usually two televisions, one for the children and one that most of the parents use. Now, the one for the children is supposed to be for all the children to be able to enjoy, but the seniority thing kicks in and it is so annoying, like it actually drives me crazy. So you can be the junior one watching television, and the next thing you'd see is that your senior sister or your senior brother would come in and they would just ask you to hand over the remote to them, and they will change the TV channel to what they want to watch, and you're not supposed to argue or quarrel or anything. You're just supposed to accept it and take it as that, because they are older than you and so they can determine what they want to watch, and you cannot question them. That is a thing in Nigeria. It is ridiculous. This thing happens a lot. Now, if you have a very nice elder sister or elder brother, they would actually say, oh please, I want to watch something, and they will change it, or they'll tell you that, oh, finish watching what you are watching and I'm going to change it. But a lot of the time that doesn't happen, because I mean, they are the boss. So they're going to just come and change the channel to what they want to watch, and you cannot question it. You cannot actually get vexed. So it doesn't matter if you're already watching a program, it doesn't matter if you're already engrossed in it, you're enjoying it and all of that. They can just come without even asking you anything. They just come and change the channel, and that's it. So the question now is, when will the junior one get a chance to watch what she wants to watch or what he wants to watch? It's annoying. It's really, really annoying. And if you dare say no, you're going to be considered to be rude and disrespectful. And when your parents come, your senior sister or brother is going to report you to the parent, and they're going to scold you for you being disrespectful. And they might talk to the elder sibling later in private to say, come on, you should have allowed her watch what she wants to watch. But they won't do that in front of you, because they want to give that lesson that you need to obey your elder one regardless. So they'll just go in private to tell the elder sibling that, come on, I mean, she was watching something, you should have allowed her watch what she wanted to watch, and then watch your program later. You shouldn't bully her to have your way and all of that. But they won't say that in front of you. What they would say in your presence is that you are disrespectful. And you cannot also be quarreling with your elder sibling. So let's say you are in the room and your elder sibling comes into your room to pick up something from your cupboard, and they pick up a cloth or a dress from your cupboard and they mess up the cupboard and leave it that way. And you go to meet the senior sibling to vex, like, why did you do that? You messed up my cupboard, you did this, you did that, you did this and that, and you're really pissed off. Now, if your mother comes in, your dad comes in and sees this happening, first of all, they're going to scold you, the junior one, for raising your voice at the senior one, because you're not supposed to raise your voice to shout at your senior one or to be angry at the senior one in that manner. What they expect you to do if you're upset is to say, you messed up my cupboard and I don't like that. I mean, you should have arranged it back. And you have to say it in a very nice way. Like, you have to control your anger and be very, put together and communicate it in a respectful manner, even though you are boiling on the inside, because your senior sister or senior brother was supposed to know that they shouldn't have messed up your cupboard. Now, even if you say it nicely and you go to meet your elder sibling to say, you messed up my cupboard, please arrange it back. You asked your senior sibling to arrange your cupboard back because they scattered it. Like, are you okay? Is something wrong with you? Because they are older than you, so they messed it up. Quite all right. They'll tell you sorry. That's the best they're going to do. And they might not even tell you sorry. But if they tell you sorry, you just take it like that. You don't have to go and arrange your cupboard by yourself. So you cannot really vex or quarrel with your elder sibling. You're supposed to be able to communicate your aggravations in a very calm manner. If you get angry and you respond in anger and you're shouting or you're upset and you just call out the thing that you don't like, even if you were right and the elder one was outrightly wrong, you are still going to be blamed for your approach because you did not say it well. You were disrespectful in how you got angry. Like, so you're supposed to express your anger in, poise and in calm and be like, you did this and I don't like it and please don't do that again. It doesn't work. It's a lie. It can't work. It's anger. You are upset about something, and so you are supposed to be able to express your vexation in the way it's doing in your body. That's how it's supposed to be. But when it comes to the seniority thing, you're not allowed to quarrel with your senior one. You're not supposed to challenge them and vex for them and express yourself in that kind of manner. You're supposed to be polite and respectful in whatever challenge or confrontation that you are giving them. In fact, you cannot confront them. You can only appeal to them. That's what you're going to have to do. Now, another funny thing is that apart from the remote control thing, even when it comes to car seats, that front seat is the right of the senior sibling. Like, it's their birthright. You cannot go to the front seat when your elder sibling is there. They're going to tell you to go to the back because, it's the front seat and I'm the firstborn or the secondborn. You are just the third or the last. How does it work? My friend, when you get to the back, so the front seat is reserved for the senior sibling. It's like their birthright. If you take that front, it's like you taking Esau's porridge. It's actually that deep. They're going to come for you. You are fighting with their birthright. So you cannot dare take the front seat. So as the younger sibling, just resign yourself to the back seat because that is where you belong. And the thing is, if you look back at your childhood, some of the things that we used to take as a big deal then, when you think about it now, you'll be like, because then it was like World War X. Like you felt like as if your birthright was being challenged as a senior sibling. And as the junior one, you felt like you needed freedom, like you needed to be able to express yourself. You wanted your civil rights to be to be heard, so you needed to fight for yourself. So it was always that kind of clash where the junior one felt like, civil rights activist, I must have my will, and the senior one felt like it's my birthright, you cannot take it from me. So there was always that clash happening in the home. So what is the way going forward? Now, I'll say this. I think that the seniority thing idea was actually birthed from a very good and responsible place, but I think that we've sort of lost the point of it, where it has actually moved more into bossing people and bullying. So I think that the whole point of it, that was the original plan, has actually been lost. So how do we repair it, and how do we make this make sense and fit into the society today? So for me, my idea is this. I think that respect should not be based on age at all. So respect should be regardless of whether you are older or younger. So as a person, you should be able to respect those that are older than you, and those that are your mates, and those that are also younger than you, regardless. As the elder sibling, you shouldn't see your junior sibling watching TV and just take the remote and change the channel. That is actually disrespectful. What you should do is, if you really must watch that program because it's urgent or it's something that is important and they might not do the replay, you can communicate that to the younger one. Now, if they are not watching something that is equally important, then they should have that respect to be able to give you the remote to watch what you want to watch. But if it's not something that is urgent, which is usually the case, then you should wait for the junior one to finish watching whatever program she is watching or he is watching, and then you can watch yours. So there should be that respect to give each person chance to watch what they want to watch, or we can have a consensus on what we all want to watch at that period so that nobody is left out. So there needs to be that respect. Now, I think that parents have a big role to play in this. Do not leave it for senior siblings to assign roles to the junior ones, because it gives room for bullying. What you should do as a parent is to divide the chores according to the way you think it is appropriate. Assign some chores to the senior sibling, assign some chores to the junior sibling, and ensure that they can handle the chores based on their ages and what you think they are capable of handling. That is what you should do. This prevents a lot of bullying. And also when it comes to errands, parents should teach their siblings to help one another out. So if I'm going upstairs and I'm going to come back down and you say, okay, please help me get my bag. No big deal. I can help you get the bag. Or if I know that you want to get something and I don't mind going up, I can help you go up to get it. But I shouldn't be obligated to obey you just because you're older than me, because that allows the senior one to bully the junior one to always go on errands for them because they are being lazy. I mean, parents understand that they do these things to their children. How much more a sibling who wants to enjoy the perks of being the senior one would ask the junior one to do all sorts of chores for them, not because they cannot do it, but because they just want to lazy around and have their maid do it all for them. So no. The onus on helping somebody out should be on the person that wants to help. Now, parents should teach their children to be attentive to the needs of others and help them out when necessary. Don't just say it's not my business and just leave it be. If a sibling is holding a lot of items on their hands, whether you are the senior one or junior one, you should help that sibling out regardless. So it should be a mutual respect, and that way it builds connection, it builds a relationship. And I've also found out that the seniority thing is actually the reason why there's a lot of rift and disparity between the relationship between siblings, where there's this top to bottom relationship where the junior one doesn't really have a relationship with the senior one. It's more like a parent-child relationship. They don't really blend together. They cannot discuss things together. They cannot gist together in important things, because they see the elder one like second parent, and so they're not free to gist some things with their sibling. And the age gap between parent and child is actually huge. So it's better off for siblings who don't have that much age gap to be able to relate with one another, and the senior one can be able to influence and give good advice to the junior one, because the junior one is able to talk to the senior one and tell them a lot of things and be free and vulnerable, and there's that friendship between them. But when there's that seniority thing, they stop seeing their sibling as a friend, someone that they can have fun with and gist with and just interact with. It just becomes like a teacher-student relationship where there's just that misplaced connection, and so you just see that there's disparity between them. So I think that it does us a lot more good to remove that gap and ensure that there is a good bond between siblings. Families that don't do too much of this seniority thing, you see that the siblings are more connected and more in very good cordial relationship. They are actually friends and they gist about so many things together. But when there's a lot of seniority in the home, you don't see that kind of bond. That kind of bond where they tell each other deep things, secrets, what they are up to, like the way you tell your friends stuff. You don't see that happening. So it's important to ensure that we bring that back. And I also think that this seniority thing has a negative impact on the society, because a lot of people grow up to not be able to challenge authority, to not be able to ask questions, to demand accountability from those that are, in higher positions than them. Because when they were growing up, they could not challenge their senior sister. They could not challenge their senior brother because it was not allowed. Like, you had to challenge them in a very calm and calculated way. And in society, when you want to challenge authority, it doesn't always have to be in that way that pleases that favors the elder one. So when they grow up in such an environment, they don't know how to hold the older ones accountable. And we see this happening in Nigeria a lot, where up until recently that you see youths fighting and holding the government accountable. But we need to learn that we should challenge authority. We should ask them to be accountable to us. We need to ask questions. We cannot just obey them blindly. When somebody tells you something, you shouldn't take it hook, line, and sinker. You should be able to ask questions. That way you are sure of what you believe, because the way the seniority thing has worked in time past is that when your sibling says this, you just obey. When your parent says this, you just obey. And so you just see more like zombies. You just obey authority even if you don't believe in it. You just obey whatever they tell you to do even if you don't accept it. And that shouldn't be the case. So parents need to teach their children to ask questions and not just always go with the flow. The good part of the seniority thing is that it allows people to learn to respect people, especially those who are older than them, and to, give room for those who are older than them. But I think that respect should go further than that. It should go further than just age, into respecting people, and that is it. Whether you are older or younger, whether you are black or white, whether you are from my race or not, whether you are from my country or not, wherever you are, whatever you do, whatever, respect should just be the key. So people should learn to respect people and treat others as they want to be treated. That is a very good way to check yourself, to know if you're doing right. Would I want to be treated like this? Would I want to be sent on errands like this? Would I want to be treated the way I am treating this person if I was in this person's shoes? And that way you are able to be accountable to yourself. So I hope this video has been fun, exciting, and it has ignited the right mindset in you. So if that's the case, subscribe to this channel, make sure that you like this video and share with your friends and family, and let's get everyone into the Yosi kingdom, because that's where we make your outstanding self ignite. Bye.